Howdy folks, this is Hal, your friendly geology instructor. We are on the Oregon coast near the small town of Neskowin, and we have something really cool here. We have a ghost forest. So today we're going to learn about ghost forests and why we have ghost forests all up and down the coast of Cascadia, from northern California to southern British Columbia. So let's start off with some observations. When I say ghost forest, what am I talking about? Well, check it out. There's all these stumps sticking out of the sand. And when we look closer at them, we can see that they're trees. I mean, if you look real close there, you can see that is a tree that's made of wood. Now, certainly, there's a lot of barnacles on it now, which are obscuring it. But the more you look at these, the more they look like trees. Lots of them, hundreds of them everywhere. So imagine every single one of these stumps that you can see. Not only is it a tree, it's a big tree. Look at the size of this thing. This would have been a Sitka spruce, maybe 150 feet tall and 2,000 years old. So that's what we know about these. They're about 2,000 years old. It was a giant coastal temperate rainforest, western hemlock, Sitka spruce, enormous trees, and they all died about 2,000 years ago. Furthermore, when scientists have dug down underneath here and excavated down below, they find something really cool. They find fresh, undecomposed soil. They find pine needles and pine cones that look like they were buried yesterday. That's incredible, 2,000 years and no decomposition. So what this immediately tells us is whatever killed this forest, whatever turned it into a ghost forest, must have happened very quickly to preserve the soil around it. All right, so that's what we know. 2,000-year-old forest buried very quickly. So now the question is, well, how did this happen? So this is all part of the Cascadia Subduction Zone earthquake story. Let me paint you the picture. 2,000 years ago, this whole big flat area was above sea level, significantly higher than it is today, and it was a coastal rainforest, like the trees in the background. You would have been walking through here, it would have been beautiful, it was lovely. But the reason it was elevated above sea level was because of the convergence of the Juan de Fuca plate, which is out there, and the North American plate, which is what I'm standing on. They're colliding with each other, and basically, I'll only use one hand here, but basically the whole area is being pushed upwards. Imagine like a ruler. If you bend the ruler, it goes like this. We call it elastic deformation. The take-home point is the land was being pushed up because of the convergence of the two plates. Okay, great. So the land is rising, there's a forest on top of it, and then the earthquake happens. And two things happen really quickly. One, the land drops. All that building drops down. And at the same time, if the land is dropping, the ocean is coming in. First with a tsunami wave that's gonna cart in all this sand and literally bury the forest in sand. And then, even though we're buried in sand, we're also now maybe at sea level. And the roots of these trees are now in salt water and they're gonna die. So that's how we kill the trees. The land drops, the ocean comes in, the tsunami, we bury it in sand, the roots are in salt water. That's how you get a ghost forest. In the 2,000 years since then, that cycle's happened many times. It's risen, it's dropped. It's risen, it's dropped. Where we're at today, everything's rising. The reason it's exposed, there was a big storm a couple decades ago that carted away a lot of this sand and exposed the forest. What can we expect for the future? Well, we know there's going to be another big earthquake, and when that happens, everything here is going to sink. This entire flat platform that I'm standing on is going to drop by 1 to 2 meters, be buried in sand from a tsunami, and then be underwater. So we only get to see this ghost forest until the next big earthquake. I think that's what I got to say, folks. I hope you learned something cool there. Check out the ghost forests.